Okay. Says I'm live, so let's get on the game. Put this over here. Hey, Wed Rawers. Howdy. How are you? That was fast. Glad you're here. I know you've missed some of my last ones. And got any questions? Or perhaps that's an old text? Did you just write that? Is that you, Red Walrus? Are you here? Waking up. It's early in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And as the title says, talking Eric Johnson, the song Pavillion here for 10 minutes. I been not going live the last few days. Ooh, almost lost my phone there. Because I've been just practicing this song, trying to get it right. Just the solo, by the way, too. Okay, sorry, I gotta make a quick change here. Oh my god, how does everything get so fucking tangled up? Okay, alright. Oh, great, so you are here. Red, well, ask any questions you want. Maybe we can divert for a few minutes, but I've only got 10 minutes, and I wanted to tell you about jamming Pavillion here. It's been, where do we want to be? Right there. Been learning this song, this solo. It's been great. Here, I'll play a little bit of it. I'm sure I'll mess it up because I'm on camera, but let's try it. We got, I'll start it, no rhythm there and a couple of mess-ups, but that was the gist of what I ran through, or what I've been running through the last few days, and I had to start this fast. I was starting, the first was like... So right there, I messed it up. But I learned it slow, and I'm not up to full speed yet. And it just the great thing about learning this solo is a few things. This is just deepening your amazement of just how well and creative and quick Eric Johnson can play that fucking strat. And you can. I was able to. The epiphany I had. I learned the song like 6-7 months ago, maybe almost a year ago, and I think at that time I was able to see the graph paper method, the scale underneath my fingers, and then just this time it really jumped out at me. I was really able to nail what the song was made of, so I thought it was cool, and I thought I would share that. I believe that the song does change keys, which is a nice exercise for people. I can tell you that the majority of the song appears to be like that solo part is basically the chords C minor and F. I believe it's an F major. And those will line up when you examine the pool of notes that are used throughout the solo. You find it's turns those notes into a solo, and you've got basically him picking off the major scale, lined up so that it is, what's the B major scale. No, an A sharp major scale, as a matter of fact. And in A sharp major, we have A sharp, C, D, something just went wrong there, E flat. I'm not naming off all of the notes because that's hard for me to do. But what I'm getting at here, yeah, I know what key and mode is. It's C Dorian. I've just taken a long way of saying, getting to the point here, it's C Dorian. And great question. So at that moment, the scale is operating in mostly when it's on that C chord. All I was doing there is hitting the root note of C and F, just like the basis of the song, to kind of get the sweetness out of that scale, right? You know, just milk it right on your guitar there. You can see what's going on. If I play that scale during the C, it's got a C Dorian sound. During the F, I believe that's, what would the F be? F is Mixolydian. How did I just figure that out? 2, C. 1, 2, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 1, 2. So the C is 2. And then where's that F? It's down below. So 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is Mixolydian. Not Dorian, like you caught me on last time there. And so... You get that? Let's just draw it real quick. So if you use this pool of notes here, we got E, A, D, G, B, and E. How fast can I draw this? Using a pen here too, which isn't smart. So if I make a mistake, I'm going to have to grab a new page, which I'm short of in this little journal here. Made so many notes. Skip to my Lou. And we got there, skip to, I think I'm going down here, going down there, gonna draw it freehand style here, and there, and we'll kick it in a little straight edge on the bottom. How about that? Without even looking, right on the line. Look at that. So, what we got here? Where are we? So, quick and easy as I can draw this, I'm going to start with my square, because that gobbles up 4 notes of my 7-note scale. And guess where you're putting your square? Right there. Just before the 12 there. So we know our pattern of squares goes like that. It's a done deal. And as is above, so is below. We got our other string pair section here with the funky split, which is part of that Aeolian shape scale. Right there, right there. We know the bottom is there, and as is above, so is below. So we're back to our big squares. Boom, boom. We got a note layer, we got a note layer. Oh, man, did I mess it up? I did. Look at that. Fuck. Alright, so those are not notes. Sorry for the guitar noise. And basically, I think you guys know how to fill out your scale there. We need our walls. Must be one in the middle there, and there, and up and through here, I believe. Did I just do that wrong? I probably did. That's the square. So, yeah, we are here. Where are we above here? Are we there? Yeah, we're there. All right. So, and let's just color that in for clarity. What I grab here? Blue. That'll work. I can visualize it in my mind faster than now than I can draw it. And there's the part where we needed to have some clarity. Pretty easy. Straight up a row there. Oh yeah, we got a square right there, right? Did I do that right? Yes. And your typical Dorian shape here. We don't need no stinking boxes, right? Yeah. So, like right there, I'm like, wait, what goes there? I'm drawing a blank. So just go with your, if you ever drawing a blank, just go with the basics of what you know. You know you got a piece there. You know you got a piece there. And a piece there, and a piece there. And next thing you know, you got your Aeolian scale working out there, with your one off there, and two right there, and on and on and on and on. So, I think we got most everything we need filled out. Let's get that right. Yeah. All right. So, hey man, Walrus, thank you for watching, because that makes it all the more cool that somebody was like, oh, this guy's live, let me watch, he's got good stuff. Thank you, man. And no problem, I really enjoy this, sharing this. Once I learned it, there was a dilemma. I'm like, wow, you've really figured this out. I'm like, part of me was like, shut the fuck up, don't announce it, don't tell anybody, go join a band and be a rock star before anybody knows what the hell's going on. And then, but another part of me is a giving person, and like thinks the world is just a better place with more great guitarists and more people that know what's up. So it's just always good to give. I was also a driving instructor for a while, so I'm always teaching. And so my decision was made to share this with the world. And so thank you for being someone who's being receptive to it. Because a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? It's not making no sense. I can't understand. And that's fine, because I understand too that not everybody is going to make sense of this. This is pretty much, there's people in the world that everybody approaches things differently. Like, I could never be a doctor. I'm pretty thankful that there's surgeons in the world, because we'd be in a lot of trouble without surgeons, right? So, but I could never do that, I don't think. Maybe if I put my mind to it, but yeah, I'd be pretty grossed out. It just doesn't appeal to me, so this won't appeal to everyone either, but some people will. Anyways, so Eric Johnson. The cool thing about YouTube is you can start on 5-speed, which is where I learned it. I can just about keep up at 0.75 speed or 3/4 speed, and I want to get it up to full speed. And man, it's pretty amazing at full speed. I almost like playing it at 7.5 because of all that stuff of what drew me to Eric Johnson's music is all these haunting notes and the way he chooses to place notes. With Eric Johnson, I'll tell you one of the secrets. It's the intervals. It's not exactly the scale he's choosing. For what you hear, what draws you in, and what really gives you them emotional spikes in his playing, at least me, I basically hear what I call all these haunting notes. Now, number one, the guy like David Gilmour is a master of tone, and just setting a Stratocaster, especially the right, well set up Stratocaster with just a great, well-known amp, like through a ton of Marshalls or through some Fender with some reverb, you could just make that almost any note, even all the wrong notes, sound haunting on that guitar. But there's more to it. You can't just play anything and sound great, as we all know. And he plays some things that just really get you, and you're like, wow, where does that Texas soul come from? And it's his choice of intervals. And so the original point was I like to play it slower because you emphasize some of them really great notes. Like, take this last run here where he goes down and goes, it goes right after the big arpeggio there. I'll start from the arpeggio. Right here, he goes. Something about that. I love the way it goes right from the F note. He goes to a fourth, which is a cool note. It's a great interval with a lot of power and interesting sound. Like you know, if you were like, you know, doing something that was like introducing the star Space Force, not the same Space Force that some idiot guy is saying that he's gonna, let's not go there, but like, you know, introducing some kind of a space army. You know, the grand introduction is gonna have a lot of fourths, I think. But anyways, so he goes there, and then he goes. He could have just went to this note, but he kicks it in with a little touch of the lower root to really fatten up that interval. It's just, and it's another fourth from the last note he was. There's another fourth. It's just a whole series of fourths right there. It's just really great. And it's also, I think, taken from a riff from his earlier album, which is... Hold on. What is that, Highlandrons or Righteous, maybe, trademark? I get those songs confused, but I know they're all totally awesome. And great, excellent question. Do any notes go outside of that A sharp scale? And the only one I could find is in the very beginning, in the intro, which I can explain that by I would choose that note to build the tension that he's building before he wants to lock into those solo notes. It's great to be a little outside at first, and I can't explain the mechanics of the one he chose and why it sounds just so mint at that moment and not like an outside note, but I'll show it to you right here. He starts out right here. This note fades in, which is still on the scale, and he goes... that is right here. He went do. He went here, and this note, and this note, and then this note, and this note. Then he's up to the 5th fret, and he plays. So he goes right up here and plays. And I'm glad you pointed that out, because initially I thought this was in key. So there is a note. I'm going to put a little X where he plays a note that's not in the key. It's this like little classical buildup. Every time I wear this shirt, I snag on the bridge. Anyways, that was the 5th, and he goes up to this one. On that, what is it, the 8th fret? So we're right there, and then this note, and this note, and this note. So he's got a couple out there. Then he finally just rings out this B note right here before he kicks it into gear with all scale notes from the solo. So I'll play it for you. Out, 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 and in. All in. All in. All in. Super sweet sounding notes, all in. Yeah, it's great. And it's really, that's what I think the greatest part of this is, to find out for yourself, like, okay, what is out here, what is in, because his interval usage makes a lot of things sound out, but that are really in. And it's just the way he is choosing a note preceding another note, like this. Then he goes. Like, where the hell does that low note come from? And I'll leave this lesson today. I guess I wanted to get to this point at 7:14. Anyways, the point I'll leave with today is what I wanted to do by learning this solo. Once I kind of started to get, like, it's within the scale, a scale. How do I take this scale and change it out from vanilla? Like, I've been doing this a lot. As you learn the scale and you're like, oh, I can get fast on the fretboard now, you'll do this. This sounds pretty cool at first, but then you're like, you still something. There's no Eric Johnson happening, and you're like, what is going on here? How come I know the scale now? I'm playing every note in the scale, and I'm not eliciting those big, impactful movements or emotions. Like, I'm just kind of getting some emotion going up and down here, but it's rather vanilla. And here's why. I think that's basically, everyone's been mastering this pattern since the 1950s, long before that, but recorded music, this has been on tape since greater than 60 years ago. So the very first things, as rock burgeoned, people were doing is, and you've been used to that, you've been hearing that in popular music for a long time now. So there's less and less interest in that being amazing, because a lot of people know a lot of people can do that. So you have to really start getting into the harmony of your music and the melody, and so you can start picking out and get your work your fingers to get some different intervals working quickly in your solos. But you might not even know that until you hear these other players and analyze, put it down on graph paper, that they are within the same scale that you're noodling with. They're just doing some different things that you can pick up on and learn and go. And every time I jam one of these artists, I feel like I'm able to incorporate them into my solos without copying them, which I think is mostly what they did with, like, I'm pretty sure you talk to Steve Howe and Eric Johnson, and these guys are all Wes Montgomery fans, and Miles Davis, and of course Jimi Hendrix for sure, and all the big players of that early period. And you don't necessarily hear Hendrix solos when they solo. You hear them playing. But if you really knew, because I don't really know a whole lot of Wes Montgomery. I've just heard just the tiniest little bits, and I really should get into all that just to be the player that Eric is, instead of trying to copy Eric and learning something from that. Because, I find that maybe one of the, unfortunately, less creative ways to go about things is to copy these modern players, like copy Gilmour, copy Alex Lifeson, copy, because you're copying copies of copies. And I think it gets pretty diluted at that point. That just is me explaining some of the reasons why I don't feel like I have super interesting playing after years and years and years of copying those guitarists. Probably got to really get back to the fundamentals and just the amazingly, massively great players, which was Wes Montgomery and Miles Davis and Hendrix and everybody else. So I'm going to leave everybody with that today. Yeah, thanks for finding this interesting. Thanks for keeping me company, Mr. Red Wallers. We will catch you on the next live broadcast sometime soon here, maybe later today if I get out of work early. We're hoping, but then I don't make any money, and that's not good either. So, hey, thanks, man. I'm going to get out of here. I told myself I was going to drive right to work at 7:01 today, so I could be way early, and I'll still be early, but I'm a little behind the game now. Cold, icy here. I'm in upstate New York, western New York, and It's just miserable outside till springtime. Have a great day. Anyone who's watching this out there, especially you Red Walrus, thanks for everything. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.